Hello friends, today I am here with tissues part 3 of 9th standard. In today's session, we will discuss about animal tissues, epithelial tissues, types of epithelial tissues and its functions, connective tissues, types of connective tissues and its function. First, it is about the outline classification of animal tissues. Animal tissues are broadly classified into 4 different types. What are they? First is epithelial tissues, then connective tissues, then muscular tissues and nervous tissue. Let us discuss about epithelial tissues. Epithelial tissues covers the entire body externally as well as internally. Means it is present on the external body surface, also on the lining of internal organs. It forms a protective covering on various organs like lung, alimentary canal, mouth, heart, kidney. The cells of epithelial tissues are tightly packed. Tightly packed means there is no intercellular spaces between the cells and it forms continuous sheet. And here there is no blood supply. Let us see about the types of epithelial tissues. There are different bases on which the epithelial tissues can be classified. First, it is on the basis of arrangement of layers. So, on the basis of arrangement of layers, the epithelial tissue is classified into two main types. First is simple epithelium, another is stratified epithelium. Another classification is based on the shape of cell. It is of three types: a squamous, cuboidal and columnar. And on the basis of function, it is divided into four different types, that is sensory, germinal, ciliated and glandular. We will discuss here all these types in detail. Here you can see the figure of different types of epithelium. Simple squamous, simple cuboidal, simple columnar, stratified squamous, stratified cuboidal, pseudo-stratified columnar and transitional. Here also it is about the different types of epithelial tissues and where they are present. Now first it is about classification based on arrangement of layers. Two types, first is simple epithelium, another is stratified epithelium. Simple epithelium means cells of the tissues are arranged in a single layer. So whenever there is single layer, then it is called as simple epithelium. And when the cells of tissues are arranged in more than one layer, then it is called as stratified epithelium. So what is the difference? In case of simple, it is single layer, and in case of a stratified, it is more than one layer. Here in the figure, you can see that simple epithelium is having one layer and a stratified epithelium is having more than one layer. Now second classification is based on the shape of the cell. So first it is a squamous epithelium. A squamous epithelium consists of large flat cells and they are arranged like tiles. And this squamous epithelium is present in the lining of lungs, alveoli, kidney, blood vessels, esophagus, lining of mouth, skin, etc. Second one is cuboidal epithelium. As the name indicates, it is composed of cubical cells and present in the nephron of kidney and ducts of salivary glands. Third one is columnar epithelium. Columnar means column-like. So it is composed of elongated cells and they are placed side by side like column, and they are present in the lining of intestine. Here you can see a squamous, stratified squamous, columnar, cuboidal. So you can see the shape. Columnar means column-like, cuboidal means cube-like, squamous it is a flat, stratified means more than one layer. So here it is the different types of epithelial tissues. Now third is on the basis of function. On the basis of function, first it is sensory epithelium. Sensory means it function is to receive the stimuli. So they are present in eye, that is in retina, and olfactory cavity, and its main function is to receive the stimulus. Second one is germinal epithelium. It forms the inner lining of testes and ovaries and helps in production of germ cells. Germ cells means gametes, that is the sperms and ovum. Next one is ciliated epithelium. Ciliated means presence of cilia. So here presence of hair-like structures on its external surface, and they are present in the lining of respiratory tracts and internal area. Now the last one is glandular epithelium. So glandular epithelium means it has some glands that secrete something. So it helps in secretion of some chemical substances, and they are present in sweat gland, ile gland, glands of mouth, and all these are helpful in secreting substance. In glandular tissue, a portion of epithelial tissue fold inward, and by folding they form the multicellular gland, and through which secretions takes place. Here you can see the sensory epithelium. This is the germinal epithelium. This is the ciliated epithelium. You can see here the presence of hair-like structure on the outer surface. Here it is glandular epithelia. As I have told you that it is folded inward. So you can see here there is folding inward, and why the folding takes place? It is taking place for the secretion. Now let us see about the functions of epithelial tissues. As it is present on the outer surface, so it helps in protection of various organs of the body, and also it protects the underlying cells from drying, injury, bacterial and chemical effect. It helps in absorption of water and nutrients as well as elimination of waste product. They may receive stimulus, as we have seen that sensory epithelium. They may be secretory in function, as we have seen in glandular epithelium, and they may produce gametes, as we have seen in germinal epithelium. Now the next is connective tissues. It is the most abundant tissue of our body, and the name indicates connective tissue, so it helps in connection of different parts of the body. So it connects different parts of the body, and it also provides a structural framework, and it helps in supporting the different tissue of the body. It also helps in body defense, fat storage and transport of materials. It helps in binding, supporting and packaging together of various organs of the body. So this is very important tissues. Here it is the outline classification of connective tissue. First, the connective tissue is broadly classified into connective tissue proper, skeletal tissue and vascular tissue. Further, connective tissue proper is divided into areolar, adipose, tendon and ligament. A skeleton tissue is classified into cartilage and bone, and vascular tissues is classified into blood and lymph. So we will discuss here one by one. First we will discuss about connective tissue proper. First is areolar. It is called as packaging tissues. Why it is called as packaging tissue? Because it fixes the skin to the underlying muscles and attach the blood vessels and nerves with surrounding tissues. So that is why they are called as packaging tissue. Next one is adipose tissue. Adipose tissues are responsible for storing fat beneath the skin and bone marrow, and they are present in the hump of camel. It is example. Tendon. Tendon is made up of thick fibrous tissues, and it is strong and inelastic, and tendon connect muscles to a bone. So tendon is made up of thick white fibrous tissue which is strong and inelastic and helps in connecting muscles to bones. Next one is ligament. It is made up of elastic fibrous tissue and they are elastic and flexible, whereas tendon are inelastic. But here it is elastic and flexible and it connects bone to another bone. So it helps in connecting one bone to the another bone. This is the figure of areolar tissues and adipose tissue. Now it is here you can see that it is a skeletal muscle, and here it is showing tendons that binds muscle to bones, and here in the palm it is ligaments that binds bone to bone. Now next skeleton tissue is cartilage. It is solid but semi-rigid and flexible, and the cells of cartilage are called chondriocytes. It is found in the nose and external ear and also found in the cartilaginous feces. Next skeleton tissue is bone. Bone is very strong and non-flexible unlike cartilage. Cartilage is flexible whereas bone is non-flexible. It is solid and rigid, and in bone there is heavy deposition of salts of calcium and phosphorus, and the bone cells are called osteocytes. Here you can see the diagram of bone and cartilage. Now the next type of connective tissue is vascular tissue. First is blood. Blood is the softest tissue in the body, and the pH is slightly alkaline, that is 7.4, and it constitutes about 8% of body weight. There are several components or elements of blood. They are RBC, WBC, platelets and blood plasma. So we will discuss here one by one. First is RBC. RBC means red blood cells or red blood corpuscles, or it is also called as erythrocytes. Mammalian blood consists of RBC, which is round and enucleated, means nucleus is not present, but nucleus is present in camel. Presence of oxygen carrying pigment, that is hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is present in RBC, and due to this pigment RBC looks red in color. Next is WBC. WBC means white blood cells or white blood corpuscles, or it is also called as leukocytes. They are amoeboid in shape with a nucleus, whereas RBC don't have nucleus. It helps in indigestion of harmful bacteria and dead cells. They also forms antibodies within the body and that fight against the diseases or germs that enter in our body, so thereby creating resistance to the body. So this is also called as WBC, soldier of the body. Here you can see the shape of red blood cells and white blood cells. Now another vascular tissue is platelet, also called as thrombocytes. They are also non-nucleated cell fragments which are oval or biconvex in shape. It helps in clotting of blood. Fourth is blood plasma. Blood plasma is the liquid part of the blood that consists 60% of the blood. It contains all the blood cells, that is RBC, WBC, platelets, and besides cells, salts, glucose, amino acids, proteins, dissolved gases, hormones, digested products, excretory products, and antibodies. Now there is one topic which is serum. What is serum? It is the blood plasma from which the blood clotting protein, that is fibrinogen, is removed. Blood clotting protein is present in where? Platelet. Because due to this blood clotting protein, platelet helps in clotting of blood. So whenever this protein is removed from the blood, then it is called as serum. Here you can see the blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, red blood cells, plasma. Now it is the blood cells, neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, monocytes, platelets, erythrocytes. These are the different types of WBCs and red blood cells. Now let us see the functions of blood. Blood helps in transportation of oxygen, carbon dioxide, amino acids, glucose, waste, hormones, digested foods, etc. And they also helps in maintenance of body temperature. As we have discussed earlier, that WBC is an element of blood that helps in protection against diseases. And also the platelets that prevents loss of blood during injury. So these are the some important functions of blood. Thank you. For any kinds of doubts, please write your question in comment section.